And then after World War II, blacks and Mexicans started to move into the city because at the time, that was one of the few places they could get a house. And white people was like, fuck that. They started a gang called the Spook Hunters. Yeah, that's how flagrant they were with their gang name. It's like, imagine if before the Crips rebranded, they were called the Cracker Crackers. It's crazy, bro.
You know, women will be like, man, you like crazy women, you like crazy women. It's like, yes and no. Like there's a scale, you know what I mean? From 1 to 10, like 1 is Janae Aiko and 10 is Lisa Left Eye, you know what I mean? I like my crazy right in the middle like a Keke Palmer, you know what I
He took me to this house where him and 10 of his friends were harboring a stolen vehicle, right? What they didn't realize is that the car had LoJack on it. So while they inside parlaying and celebrating, police surround the house. They catch wind of it. And this was the first time I got to see 10 friends forget they were friends instantly. Niggas start jumping out the window. Somebody jumped through the door. Another nigga tried to jump through the wall like Bugs Bunny. The wall nigga got caught. He thought it was a game. Me and my brother ended up in the backyard, right? We start hitting fences. I'm 5 years old, running from the cops with my brother. We hop over one fence, then another fence, then up the third fence, you heard this woman go, oh my God, what are you doing? And then you just heard, shut up, bitch. And then my brother popped me because I was too young to curse, right? So we running, we get to this brick wall that's too high for me to climb. So I freeze, which gives the cop just enough time to catch up. And he draws his weapon on us and says, stop or I'll shoot you both. And it was something about the way he said both that made me realize, I'm 5. I should be coloring. I'm looking at my brother, he's shaking his shit. I have to check him like, get it together, nigga. Don't say shit till we lawyer up.
People always ask me if you commit suicide, you think you're going to heaven. I was like, if I was God, you wouldn't. Absolutely not. I'm busy as hell up here. Everybody asking me questions. You see my grandmama? You see my auntie? You see my daddy? You see my aunt? You see my granny? You see my daddy? You see my and then you just show up out of nowhere. Pooh, you just show up. I'm like, nigga, who called you? I just couldn't take it. You couldn't take what? Did I call you up here? I decided to go downstairs.
I like New York for a few reasons. The main reason I love New York is because it reminded me of my love for overt racism. You know? Because in LA, I like to call it normal racism. It's sneaky. You don't see it coming. It's like, imagine if this was a zombie movie, right? Only you didn't know who the zombies were until they tried to touch your hair or some shit. You'd be like, Rebecca this whole time, bitch. In New York, it's overt. It's like morning breath. You get it instantly, right? It's all stairs in New York. So one day I ordered an Uber, and the Uber was 8 minutes away. So I run downstairs to wait for the Uber. The driver literally pulls up to me, looks me in the eyes, cancels the ride, drives off. I was pissed, because he could have did that before he even came. He saw my profile picture. I was mad because he made me wait 8 minutes for racism to arrive.
Ladies, it's like y'all look at memes like they Bible verses now. Y'all be, look at you, yep, so do. Y'all be sharing them, yes, I do. I'll be on Instagram. It was one meme that said, don't ask me how I'm doing, just send a plane ticket. All the women was like, what? Talk about it exactly. Let me pack a bag, boo. Don't ask me how I'm doing, just send a plane ticket. What, plan a trip? Yes. And then a dude, like, you ever been a man? He came in the comments, you ever been somewhere you're not supposed to be? Like he stumbled in the wrong building, right? He just came in there like, that's all it takes is a ticket, right? They lit him up like, if you ain't got the money, just say that. Punk bitch, right? For hours, dog. Thousands of likes. You bro, ain't nobody talking to you. Mind your business. Dollar store. Like, they're just yelling shit out.
Like most places in America. You know, Mexicans are dominating shit. Like McDonald's, for example. They have monopolized McDonald's. You can't go to a McDonald's in the city without hearing, welcome to McDonald's, I'm gonna take your order, please. Let me get a Big Mac. Oh, Big Mac. No cheese. Sin queso. That's the best English you gonna get in there, dog. The cashier is the one who speaks the best English. Look, go to a McDonald's. The further into the restaurant you look, the less English they speak. You can't talk to the nigga on the fries. He's not even supposed to be in the country. I could say this because I'm half Mexican. I'm not, but let's pretend. I did have a Mexican family though, right? Again, blacks and Mexicans in Compton, right? Here's how I met my Mexican brother. I was 5 years old. I just got my first bike. My Mexican brother's name is Debo, right? So, I know, right? It's his street name, and you'll see why in a second. I get my first bike, I ride it down to the end of the block where their house is. Debo is on the porch. Debo sees me, he goes, hey, give me your bike, punk. And I was like, no. And he was like, all right. And then we became best friends. You know, it was an attempted robbery that ended in brotherhood. And I got to spend a lot of time with them, man. I learned how resilient Mexican people are because they spent the night at my house. I spent the night at their house for years. Years I would go over their house. I ain't seen these niggas drink water one time. Coca-Cola every fucking day. You hear me? Shit was wild, bro. I spent a lot of time with them. I love my Mexican family. I learned everything but how to speak Spanish. Because it's hard, man. And people be like, all you gotta do is be around some Spanish speakers and you'll learn it over time. No. That's not true. Because Mexicans who speak Spanish treat Spanish the same way black people treat spades. You better learn that shit. Because I'm not about to teach you. If you don't know, just sit down. One time, Debo's older brother, his older brother's named Gerardo, right? One time, Gerardo got mad at me. He confronted me. He was like, hey, fool, you've been around us for a long time. You don't know how to say baño? It's like, nah, this motherfucker be asking for tacos and enchiladas. And Debo was like, chill. And then he switched to Spanish, because, you know, that's what they do when they say the shit they really want to say. He was like, nah, fuck that. Lo único que este güey sabe decir es quiere comer. Nada más. Which basically means, I know I had a burrito in the fridge. And I think this nigga took it. I'm paraphrasing, but I love my Mexican family, man. Nothing beats your God-given family, right? My immediate family was one of them ones, you know? And I was the youngest of 4 boys, so by the time my mom had me, she was tired of niggas. Both of my brothers went to Compton High, and then they went to jail. So naturally, she didn't want me to go to Compton High. She drove me to a high school 30 minutes away from Compton. in a white neighborhood. Now, what she didn't realize is a lot of people had the same idea. So now I'm at this school with white people and my neighbors. And the white kids were crazier than the black kids because they were just more ambitious, you know? Like black kids will come see the white kids on their Nextels and be like, hey, you see him over there? I'ma steal that nigga's phone. White kids will come to school, see a black kid with the Pop Smoke braids, and it's like, you see him over there? I'ma steal that nigga's culture. If you didn't laugh at that, I get it. The truth is an acquired taste. They were overprotective of me, man. My brother was one of these people because he was a felon, he was in and out of prison, he stole cars, he sold drugs. So naturally, he didn't want me to sell drugs unless they was his. Gotta keep it in the family, you know? He hated my friends growing up. He didn't like any of my friends. Whenever he saw me around my friends, he would stop his car in the middle of the street, get out, and be like, you can't be hanging with them, because you're gonna end up dead or in jail. Dead or in jail. It was like his slogan, dead or in jail. It was crazy to me, because the first time I went to jail, I was with my brother. It was that nigga's day to babysit. He took me to this house where him and 10 of his friends were harboring a stolen vehicle, right? What they didn't realize is that the car had LoJack on it. So while they inside parlaying and celebrating, police surround the house. They catch wind of it, and this was the first time I got to see 10 friends forget they were friends instantly. Niggas start jumping out the window, somebody jumped through the door, another nigga tried to jump through the wall like Bugs Bunny. The wall nigga got caught. He thought it was a game. Me and my brother ended up in the backyard, right? We start hitting fences. I'm 5 years old, running from the cops with my brother. We hop over one fence, then another fence, then up the third fence, you heard this woman go, oh my God, what are you doing? And then you just heard, shut up, bitch. And then my brother popped me because I was too young to curse, right? So we running, we get to this brick wall that's too high for me to climb, so I freeze, which gives the cop just enough time to catch up. And he draws his weapon on us and says, stop or I'll shoot you both. And it was something about the way he said both that made me realize, I'm 5. I should be coloring. I'm looking at my brother, he's shaking his shit. I have to check him like, get it together, nigga. Don't say shit till we lawyer up.
They say over the pandemic, a bunch of people like learned a bunch of stuff about themselves, right? I learned I got like a panic attacks, right? And severe panic attacks, right? My body shaking and shit at night. Right? And when I got it, I didn't know what it was, right? My blood pressure was just rising up, right? My body getting hot, I'm bald headed, so I'm sweating a lot. And I feel like I'm about to die, right? I didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? I thought panic attacks was like a white people way of saying they didn't want to do some shit. Growing up, that's what I really thought it meant, you know what I mean? I thought if a white person said, I'm having a panic attack, they would just stop, oh, okay, and they didn't have to do anything anymore. So I'm shaking and shit, I don't know what's going on, right? I'm looking up at shit on TikTok, I'm just putting my foot in ice, trying to get my body heat down. It was like when Zoom was happening, right? So you couldn't go to a doctor, you had to go to Zoom, right? I got this white lady, right? I'll never forget, I was like, hey, how you doing? My name's Sydney, I'll be shaking at night and shit, right? She was kind of rude, she was like, why? Right? I was like, oh, hold on one second. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking for my degree, bitch. I don't know why. That's why I'm calling you. I said, can I get some medicine? She said, you're not getting no medicine. Boop, and she hung up, right? Yeah, they're not trying to give you medicine like that, right? I was like, okay, bet. So now for 6 more months, I'm shaking and shit. I don't know what's going on with me, right? I damn near fainted at a show, right? I just get lightheaded. I was like, damn, I guess I'm just finna die, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, my brother did, you know what I mean? My mom had cancer and shit. My dad did. I was like, oh, I must just be next up, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm just preparing to get the fuck out of here, right? Then I got this old black lady doctor, right? I love old black women, dog, because they look at you like you could be their family. And they could be a little aggressive, but they mean well. Right? I got her over Zoom, old black lady. I was like, how you doing? She's like, what's going on with you? It was over Zoom. She thought she looked cute. She turned around. She's like, hey, how you doing? You look nice, thank you. What's going on with you? I said, my body be shaking, my body be shaking and shit at night. She was like, where your daddy at? That's what she said. Said my dad passed. Check 1. You got these siblings? I got a brother. Where he at? He passed. Check 2. We unpacking. Right? She said, where your mama at? I said, she in the living room. She's like, is she alive? I said, yeah. She said, thank God, you was stressing me out. I said, but she got cancer. She's like, oh, shit. I'm sorry for saying shit, right? She got, boy, you got anxiety, boy. I said, what does that mean? She said, it's like a computer screen open on a computer that you're not using. If you have enough open, the computer will freeze. You have a bunch of trauma in your life you haven't addressed. So your body is shaking. I was like, so what do? I'm gonna give you some medicine. I was like, okay, bet, right? Now, I'd never taken any mental health drug in my life. I was just taking Tylenol, you know what I mean, a nap, and that's about it, you know what I mean? And she gave me some Zoloft, right? Now, I never had Zoloft. She gave me 100 milligrams of Zoloft, right? I said, what this do? She said, shut up and take it. Zoloft is like a gang member almost to emotions. It won't let you have none. You know, you take some Zoloft, it don't give a fuck. Somebody gets shot right in front of you. You on Zoloft, like, niggas get shot, you know what I mean? Duck goose nigga, you know what I mean? I'm shaking so much, I'm on 200 milligrams of Zoloft a day, right? Yeah. My mama taking radiation. At the time, it wasn't working, they told her. So my mama set me down. Right, true story, we on the couch. She's like crying. She's like, hey, baby, this is what I want you to do with the house. I said, what you mean? She was like, the doctor said the radiation isn't working. And I'm not gonna be here much longer, right? I was like, really? She was like, yeah, I love you, son. And like, I wanted to cry so bad. Right, but I had 200 milligrams of Zoloft in me. So I was just like, niggas die every day, B. Went back to the doctor, like, I don't like what you giving me. Right? She's like, lower your voice. You the one that was panicking, nigga. Right? I said, what do? She said, you tell people your cup is full. I said, what? She's true story. She said, you tell people your cup is full. You can't handle a bunch of information right now. So you tell people your cup is full. I said, so that's it. I just walk in crowded rooms like, hey, how y'all doing? My name's Sydney. My cup full. And everybody gonna know I be panicking and shit. Yes! Like, okay, bet. All right, bet. So right now, I'm not the person to call with bad news. I might hang up on you. People get mad when you set boundaries for your life, you know what I mean? Well, that's what I gotta do, you know what I mean? Some people left, I'm like, I get it, you know what I mean? But I'm not changing it, you know what I mean? I feel like since I've been dealing with stuff, all my friends been dealing with shit too, you know what I mean? I got a homeboy that walked up on me, he's like, yo, Sid, the doctor told me I got 2 bad kidneys. I was like, damn. That's all I had for him, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna pray for you, you know what I mean? He was like, they said I need a kidney to live. I was like, oh, damn, double down. He was like, I was wondering if I could if I could get one of your kidneys. I was like, oh, absolutely not. He's like, you don't want to think about it? I said, I did, no. And I wasn't trying to be mean, but I was like, look, I don't feel like I should be on high priority for your kidney. Right. I went to his house, I was looking around the pictures, he had a whole family reunion photo. Right. There's like 60 people in here, like what? It's like 120 kidneys available right here. I'll help you call. We just gotta work on our pitch. Now listen, he got a kidney, not mine, but he got one. He living a successful life. God is good, yeah. But sometimes when he get mad at me, he like lose sight of reality. You know what I mean? Sometimes when he get mad, he be raising his voice at me like he got 2 kidneys. I gotta tell him like, relax, bro, you taking like a 2-kidney tone right now. You didn't have all that energy when you needed the kidney, you know what I mean? Sometimes I gotta punch him in his shit where that kidney's supposed to be. I remember one time I was home, right, and I was dealing with my mom cancer, right? And I was outside, and it was like perfect smoking weed weather, right? Even if you don't smoke weed, just bear with me. It had just rained, and it stopped, and it was like maybe 72 degrees in Texas, and the wind was blowing perfect, right? I was like, I gotta roll up, right? So I'm rolling up, and I'm smoking outside, right, minding my business, and I see my neighbor, is this white lady, my mom's neighbor. I never met her, but I know she's a white lady. And that's been confirmed, right? So I see her pull up in a taxi, and I'm from Fort Worth. We didn't really got taxis like that, right? So I was like, suspicious, right? And this white man got out the car, and he's banging on the hood, the driver. He bangs on the hood, and he's banging at the passenger, the back door. He's like, get the fuck out the car, lady. He hits the car again, get out the car, right? I put my blunt down like, nah, I'm finna go inside. Because the cops gonna come and arrest me. I'm like, look, I'm just doing drugs. They didn't want tripping, right? True story, dog. I cannot make this up. I'm inside. I like close the door, but the screen door is glass. You can still see outside. Maybe 3 minutes later, I hear, help me! True story. This white lady screaming, help me! I look in the door. And the taxi was gone. Right? It's just a white lady in the grass crawling, and she's pointing me like, can you please help me? Right? Before I could do anything, dog, the ancestors came in my body. And they was like, you better not go outside. Helping a white lady like helping an alligator right now. You might mean well, but that motherfucker still ain't bite you, you know what I mean? So I just closed the door. There's no end to that story. I don't know what happened to Wiley. About 3 years ago, I met one of my really good friends. His name is Jay Snow, right? Jay Snow has sickle cell, right? Now, at the time he told me he got sickle cell, I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, I heard of it. You gonna have to explain, right? You know, and the only sickle cell reference I knew was I had a barber back home in Fort Worth, and he had sickle cell, and he couldn't cut. So I told him, like, only thing I know about sickle cell is y'all awful barbers. He was like, it's so much more, all right? So Jay explained what like a crisis is. When he gets into a crisis, he has to go to the hospital. He's been in the hospital like 30 times already this year. He told me when I go in the hospital, Sydney, I need certain things every hour and a half and help with my pain. Sometimes the doctors don't want to give me the medication on time, and like I be really in pain, right? Like when that's my pot, I'm like, all right, bet. Like I've been to hospitals, unfortunately, too many times. Sometimes you need somebody like to speak up for you. Because they so busy doing shit, they don't have priority with your family member, right? So now we working in New York, me and Snow, right? And he don't come to work, right? I'm like, he on some, where you at, right? He called me like, I'm in the hospital. I was like, what's going on? He's like, I'm having a crisis, right? Boom, I run to the hospital. True story, run to the hospital, dog. Now I'm being dramatic, it was like 2 blocks, but I'm there. When I walk in, I'm all passionate, you know what I mean? I got anxiety, I need something to key up on, right? I walk in like John Q, like, I'm here to see my son! Where's the sickle cell room? Right? Bring me to it, right? I go in the back, they got Jay Snow behind a sheet, he ain't got a door, I'm pissed. We WGA, we writers, we got great insurance and we can't afford a fucking door, dog. I ripped that sheet open, dog. He's sitting there in pain. When you're in crisis, your whole body in pain. I'm looking at him like, you laugh, you're going to hell. He in so much pain. Now look, it's a white dude in the hospital bed next to him. His arm just hurt. And while Jay Snow in pain, he just like reading a book, right? I went over there and knocked that shit out of his hands like, hey, you gonna act sad, my nigga. I need you to pray. I look at Snow, I'm like, hey man, I love you, dog. You gotta tell black men to black men, I tell them every friend I got, I'm like, hey, I love you, dog. He was like, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what you need? I'll do anything you need right now, right? And Jay was like, go to the hotel we in. Look in the dresser by my bed, and when you open it up, it's a Bible with a picture of my mom on it. That's not what I want. Beneath that is a wave cap. True story, dog. Jay Snow got braids, and he was like, I just got my shit done. They're gonna have me in here looking crazy. And I was already pissed because he asking me to do hair shit, dog. So I was like, I got you. I go get the wave cap, bro. I come back in the hospital. Now they got security. They're like, hey, lower your tone. Like, my bad, you know, he got sickle cell, right? So they take me to the back, right? I throw the wave cap on his chest, bro. Right, like, I love you. Here you go, dog. I got it for you. And he was like, can you put it on, man? And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I need you to put it on me and make sure two braids like stick out right here. And make sure some braids dangle in the bag for me. Just looked at him, I was like, Snow, dog, I love you, man. But my cup is full right now.
I deal with a chronic illness, right? I spend a decent amount of time in the hospital. And usually these days when I do, people think it's COVID related. And I'm like, no, it's not COVID, it's sickle cell. I only support black illnesses. We got a few now. We got sickle cell, diabetes, and ever since Jada, we got alopecia. She put her head in the game, you know? It's the truth, man. Sickle cell is tough. It basically mutates my red blood cells. Sickle cell mutates my red blood cells, right? It doesn't allow my red blood cells to get oxygen where it needs to go, right? Can't deliver it. It's like your red blood cells are Tom Brady throwing a touchdown pass. My red blood cells are pissed off UPS driver throwing your iPhone at the door. So it results in a bunch of stupid symptoms. Like, I'm anemic, which means I get cold very easily. That's why I'm wearing a sweater right now. You know how hard it is to be a man who gets cold easily? You know how hard it is to get bitches with goosebumps? Every time I go out on a date with a girl, my arms start breaking out. She look at me like, oh, are you catching feelings? And I'm like, no, bitch, I'm catching pneumonia. You know? It's a tough illness to have, dog. Every time I give a girl my coat, I'm risking my fucking life. And if I don't do it, I hear stuff like, chivalry is dead. Chivalry is dead. Fuck chivalry. I'm shivering. It's a tough illness to have. Like, it's triggered by alcohol. So I shouldn't drink, but I do. Because how else am I supposed to get these hoes? Sickle cell slows down your cellular growth, so I look a lot younger than I actually am. A lot of y'all probably think I'm in my 20s. I'm 67 years old. I do old people shit now, you know? I started taking naps. I used to think sleeping during the day, pish posh. Right? Now I love naps. You ever try to take a nap, but the nap take you? You wake up, it's dark outside. You feel like you got kidnapped for 2 seconds. You're like, today's the day. It's a tough illness to have, man. It made me unrelatable in a way, right? Because I would hear things differently than my friends. When I was in high school, a doctor told me that by the time I'm 25, I'd have to have a gallbladder removed. By the time I'm 30, I'd have to have a hip replacement. Glory to God, none of that has happened, right? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It just made it harder for me to relate to people. Kids at school would be like, Jay Snow, come on, let's play kickball. I'd be like, I can't. Why? I gotta save my hip, nigga. I got 10 years worth of good kicks left. You think I'm gonna waste them having fun? I got fucking to do. Trying to have kids, nigga. It's a tough illness to have, man. I get strange mail with sickle cell, you know? I got a letter in the mail from my doctor one time that said I'm at risk of having a non-functioning spleen. And I was pissed because I'm like, I just saw my doctor. He could have told me in person or texted me or send me a letter, right? But it made me kind of sad. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to my mom. And she responded with, aha, no 10 kids for you. Love you, Mom. Exactly. I was just as confused, right? So I FaceTimed her, but I don't call it FaceTime because she never holds the phone right. So I chin-timed her, right? I chin-timed her and was like, why would you laugh at me after I just told you I had a non-functioning spleen? She said, spleen? I thought you said sperm. And look, I know this is kind of heavy, right? But understand something. I'm living my dream right now, you know? I've traveled the world, you know? I've done things that I wanted to do for my whole life, so I have a good life, right? I just deal with dumb shit all the time, right? Like one of the worst symptoms of sickle cell is the pain. And you know what? These days, the FDA released this thing called curative therapies for sickle cell, right? And everybody's DMing it to me, texting it to me. Have you heard? There's a cure for sickle cell. And I'm like, no, it's not a cure. That's why they call it a curative therapy. So you can't sue them if the shit don't work, right? And they're not even telling you the worst part about these curative therapies. One of them is $2 million. The other one is $3 million. Sickle cell predominantly affects African American and Latino people in this country. What Black or Mexican family you know got $3 million just sitting around? And if they did, I wouldn't use it for this shit. Hell no. The best that these pharmaceutical companies could do with these curative therapies is incentivize them, right? Just pay Black and Latino families $3 million to kill the nigga with sickle cell. I know that's extreme, but it'll cure a few things, right? One, it'll eradicate this illness. Two, it'll give Black and Latino families a fair chance at generational wealth. Three, and this is a sadder fact, is we'd have to see America descend into sickle cell Hunger Games edition, you know? You'd have to watch out for booby traps when you go to Burlington Coat Factory. People will start claiming sickle cell who don't even got it. I got sickle cell, where's my $3 million? Sir, you're white. I'm Creole. You'd hear about people dying in strange ways. Did you hear what happened to John? No, what happened? He died. How? He put on a heating pad and had fentanyl in it. It's a strange thing, man. Life is funny, dog. And even when life ain't funny, It's up to you to find a way to make it funny. Because sometimes it's the only way to get through a really dark time, right? And I developed this skill at a very young age, before I even knew I had it. I was 10 years old, right? And my father had just died. Don't worry, I didn't know him any more than y'all did. Right? But I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Thanksgiving, and my Cowboys was losing, right? So my auntie pulled me to the side, and she was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. And I was like, what? And she was like, something happened to your father. And I was like, who? And she was like, stop being a smart ass, right? She was like, your dad got in with the wrong crowd. You know, he started taking some hard drugs. Him and two of his friends broke into a warehouse after hours. While he was inside, this alarm got tripped and the gate started to close. They tried to make a run for it. One person got out, second person got out, the third person was your dad. And he got pinned by the gate, suffocated, passed. Right. My 10-year-old brain couldn't even process this. The first thing I did was just blurt out, there's no way he got into heaven. My auntie was like, why would you say that about your father? I was like, who? She was like, stop being a smart ass. Right? She was like, why would you say your father wouldn't get into heaven? And I was like, auntie, because if he can't get past the gates on earth, how are we gonna get past it?
And whenever I get like a down moment, I think of something about my family that make me feel good, right? Like my mom, really, right? Like I'm 6'4.5". My mama thought I was going to the NBA. Yeah. Like she thought she was gonna never have to work again. Like I was her meal ticket. I was like, lady, don't quit your job, right? Remember my senior year, she came in cursing me out like, you can't make a layup? You can't make a free throw, they fucking free, right? She's like, you ain't never gonna be able to get a scholarship playing like this. I guess I'm gonna be working at Walmart, so I'm 75 fucking with you. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Walmart. My name Marilyn, I'm Sydney mama. Like, who is Sydney? The nigga on the register. Say hi, they talking to you. Like, hey, how y'all doing? Dog, when I was 14, I ain't gonna lie, my dad caught me jacking off, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nah, think about it, because it's funny, because listen, everybody has that moment when you first like touch yourself. Mine was Holly Berry and the white dude, right? Monsters Ball, yeah. She looked at him, she's like, can you make me feel good, right? I'm 14, I'm going to work, right? And I'm like, I never did it before, right? So like, I didn't know where to finish, and I didn't plan it, right? So I had a white wicker trash can, I was like, bet, that'll do, right? And I was like, like, you know what I mean? As a grown man, you can control you know what I mean? But at 14, my knee buckled, right? And I'm releasing the best feeling I've ever had in my life, right? And then my dad was in the doorway, he was like, when you're done, I want to talk to you. But I love them, dog. Right, I love my family, dog. That's why when I be looking at like shows, like these documentaries, I watch documentaries and see like these Dateline when people be killing their family. That'd be crazy to me, dog. Like you can work that out. Like I was raised like you kill for your family. You know what I mean? But you don't kill your family, dog. And when I watch them shows, they like plan it out. Like that woman want to kill her husband? Oh man. She set it up like clockwork, right? It take her like 6 months. She might like say something slick to let him know. She'd be like, okay, Daniel. I heard you loud and clear. He got like 2 months, he dead, right? But they still slick on the documentary, they finna kill him, they still slick. They still get him gifts on their birthday, right? A whole cake, keep blowing it out. She walking away, this your last motherfucking birthday, man. Over 6 months, you watch her like plan this out. And when she finally finna do it, she go to the store. They all get the same shit. Some gloves, a shovel, some cement, and they bury their family in the front yard. I'm sitting there watching the show like, this is crazy, right? I love my family, dog. My cousin was kidnapped as a child. True story, right? My uncle played basketball overseas, like in New Zealand, right? And he got with a white woman, right? And you know what I mean? To each his own, to each his own. They had a baby, right? Which was my cousin. Now they came back to Texas and Dallas. They lived in Dallas, right? They got in an argument. One day he came home. It was a note on the bed. You'll never see your daughter again, right? I'm taking her back. She went to New Zealand, right? My uncle was like distraught. He come to my mom, who's the oldest in their family, right? He's like, she took my baby, right? Now I know I've seen my mama act tough. She from Gary, Indiana, right? I didn't know she had Liam Neeson in her though, right? She's like, where's the girl? Where's the girl, right? My uncle losing his shit. She took her. My mama took her where, all right? New Zealand. My mama doing the calculation. She's like, where that is, right? My mama's only been to Indiana, California, and Texas. She's never left the country before. Never. But she was like, I gotta go get the baby, right? So she gangster. She took a passport, $60, right? She went with some federal agents. They went to New Zealand. They walked up on this white lady in a grocery store. Yeah. She's scanning fruits, thinking it's all good. For real, yeah. My mama gangster, dog. She walk up in her, right? This white lady's like scanning, boom, boom, beep, beep. Right? My mama walk up on her. Hey, how you doing? Right? She turned around, she panicked. She said, don't panic, where my baby at? Right? My cousin was right there. My cousin, she said, come here, right? Authorities took her away. My mama got on a plane, took her back to the States, right? Right, yeah. So then, my cousin is now raised in my mom's house, right? My uncle not doing that well, fine. My mom's, that's her brother. They both in the house, right? My mom was a teacher, so she always made sure she was smart. Got her like toys that was like books. I was like, get her a fucking toy. She liked to read. I'm like, you forcing it on her? You know what I mean? She do good. She ranked in mock trial throughout the, you know what I mean? It's like she doing very well. She goes to Dillard University, right? Now I go see her graduation. It's a beautiful thing. Michael Ealy is there talking about my cousin. He's like, we don't need more Oprahs. We need more of Sydney's cousin. I'm crying. I'm in the back crying, dog, right? She want to be a lawyer. I've been on TV since she been a kid. I won a TV show, Funniest Wins, in 2014. She was like a freshman in high school. So my whole career, she's been like looking up to me. Right? She accepted at Brown University. I'll make her my assistant. I said, boom, let's get this money. Right? I'm in New York. I'm doing well. I'm like, look, all you got to do, watch my mom. Right? Because my mom can't do for herself right now. Right? So just watch my mom. Right? I work. Just set me up on my tour. You know what I mean? She's in emails with my management. Boom, we have a little system. Right? It's my little cousin. Right, I got my mom set up, right? She's in a new place. She got like 60 grand in a savings account, right? Now, I'm not bragging, but I be working, So her bills come out of my business card, so it's no reason for my mom to even go into the savings because she can't do that anymore. She can't go to the bank and do things like that anymore. So that's why I have my cousin helping, right? So I'm in New York writing on the show, you know what I mean? After I'm done, I come back, I go to the bank, I'm gonna put some money in my mom's savings account. It went from 60,000. I checked the balance. It was $37 in my mama's account. Yeah. You would immediately start praying. That's hilarious, right? So I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what happened to the money in your account? Right? My mom was like, oh, my brother, he opened up me an account under his name. Right? I said, okay, Mama. Okay, 1 second. Right, I'm finna call him. You never know what to trigger you, right? So I called my uncle. I said, hey, did you open up my mother's account without my permission? He's like, oh, well, I opened it up so she can get her Social Security and get her retirement because you can't get it in the savings. I said, why didn't you tell me before you did that? And he goes, well, I'm her brother. And that's the first time I snapped. I said, motherfucker, I'm her son. My dad dead, my brother dead. I'm the last. Don't you ever make a decision without involving me again. He was like, okay. I said, the money that was in the other account, did you transfer it to this new account? He goes, oh, no, I didn't. I said, well, it's about $60,000 missing. He was like, I ain't had nothing to do with that. And he hung up, right? And I started laughing because I was like, I'm about to go to jail. That's crazy. Like, it's been nice knowing y'all. Like, I've had a good career, right? People always ask you, would you be willing to sit in the bathroom for 20 years? Absolutely. Hand me my pillow. I'm funny. I'm going to be the funniest nigga in prison, but I'm going. I was so irate, dog. I didn't know what I was, all these thoughts in my mind, dog. Somebody didn't fuck with my mama, dog. And I'm like, right? And I'm with my boy Snow, and Snow is like, yo, you should chill. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying, you know what I mean? I'm trying to chill, because I don't know what's going on right now. You know what I mean? So my cousin, you know what I mean? She hits me. She's like, I think my daddy had something to do with it, right? She crying. I said, yeah. She was like, yeah. I said, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna call you back, right? Because now, for the first time in my life, I don't trust nobody. Right? I don't trust nobody, and I'm not even trying to be dramatic. I don't trust nobody, dog, except my mama, right? And then my cousin called me back, and she was like, hey, Sydney, I have something to tell you. I said, what's up, right? She was like, I found out what happened. I said, what happened? She said, your mom used to send me money while I was in college. And I think she just forgot. She just kept sending me money. So she just keeps sending me money, going to the bank, sending me money. I said, yeah, how much money she sends you? She was like, close to like $40,000. I said, oh, where the money at? Well, that's the thing. I never really kept checking my balance. I just kept spending, and I guess I went through it. I said, well, here's the lie. I said, my mama can't go to the bank and do that and transfer money. She doesn't know how to do the apps. I said, so you lying to me, right? And I hung up the phone, right? And my boy Chris, he's a Christian, right? Yeah. I'm a Christian too, but it's important that you know. He's more Christianer than me. When Chris found out what happened, he raced to my house, right? And he started praying for me immediately. He did. Chris, a praying dude, right? He touched my shoulder. He's like, close your eyes, right? And he started praying. But you know what I mean? My eyes wasn't closed. I love God, but I wouldn't on that shit right now. And I'm just opening up. He was like, God in control. I was like, it don't feel like it. He's like, God in control. I was like, all right, bet. And he started praying. I just walked off during his prayer. I went to the store, right? And I bought me some gloves. A shovel. And some cement. Because I was going to bury my fucking family, right? It's triggering because people always give me their opinion. They'd be like, I would have did this, I would have did that. Like, I don't think about that, right? But you got to put things in perspective, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? My friend told me, my homegirl Ebony, she said, Sydney, if you go do something to them, what if God take your mom? Just to show you that he's still in control and you're not in control. And I took 2 of the bullets out the gun. I said, keep going. They're not gonna get this whole clip, but you make it sense.
Yeah, my brother has what I like to call hood logic. You know, sound logic that sounds stupid, right? My brother smokes weed. So before he smokes a blunt, he'll take his jacket off, smoke the whole blunt, put his jacket back on, and be like, can you smell it? Can you smell the weed? I'm like, yes, nigga. Just because you whispering don't mean you not loud. It's hood logic, right? Sound logic that sounds stupid. I was young. One time I didn't know how to talk to girls. So I asked my brother for advice. And he looks at me and he goes, listen, you can't treat a queen like a hoe because she won't allow it. And you can't treat a hoe like a queen because she won't appreciate it. And I was like, nigga, I'm 12. This note says, do you like me, yes or no? Do I give it to the bitch or not? What is this riddle? It's crazy, man. My brother's insane, dog. In 2019, he went back to prison because he got homesick, right? We all got one in the family. And in that moment, I had decided to give up my Hollywood apartment. I was living in Hollywood, pursuing my dreams at the time. And once I heard the news, I said, I'm giving that up and I'm moving back to Compton so that he has a house to return to when he gets out, right? And people were like, why would you do that? You're going back to Compton. I'm like, it's my hometown. What's the worst that can happen, right? 6 months later, I get shot at by my neighbor. And I only call him my neighbor because I no longer feel comfortable calling him my friend from high school. I got shot at over pussy I didn't even get, right? And this all took place early. So for context, right? My friend, right, lived in the back house. I lived in the front house. Front house is a full house. The back house is about as big as this fucking stage, right? But he had 2 cars, which screamed financial responsibility. So one day he was at work, and at 6 a.m., this guy comes over and keys his second car while it's in the driveway. My friend sees this on the Ring camera at work, leaves work to come home. He gets home by 7 a.m. to assess the damage. By 8 a.m., I get up, because that's when I usually get up. My morning routine consists of yoga, smoothies, and meditation, like most niggas from Compton. I'm thinking I'm about to have a great day. I get up, I notice my brother's car is on the street. He's about to get a ticket for street sweeping. So I go out to move his car. My friend sees on the Ring camera somebody by my brother's car, just grabs his gun, runs outside without even looking, shoots, bah, right? The bullet missed me and killed our friendship, right? I was like, unfollow, right? And then I confront him. I was in shock. I was like, how the fuck could you shoot at me? What is wrong with you? And he goes, my bad. Turns around, walks back into the house. And I was frustrated. I was furious. I was like, this ain't where this is about to end. So I get my gun and I call another friend to bring his gun, because 2 guns is better than 1. We go to the back house. I knock on the door. Hey, bro, you gotta move. He immediately goes, you right. You can't shoot at the landlord, dog. It trumps loud music, late payments. You know? And I know some of y'all probably thinking, that's it? You didn't call the cops? I didn't. He was my friend and a felon in possession of an illegal firearm that I sold him. I didn't know I had to put "don't shoot at me" on the receipt. I have a crazy family, bro. And you would think my brothers are probably the craziest in my family, but it's not. It's my sister, you know? Because she almost killed a dude, her husband. Well, she didn't almost kill him, right? He attempted suicide. He failed, but he tried. And she would have me believe that this took place because she asked for a divorce. So he got all worked up and jumped off a 2-story building into a massive pile of medical bills. I don't think that's what happened, right? Because at the time that this happened, they were arguing. And my sister can argue. What I think he tried to do was end the argument in a very extreme way. But you can't do that, fellas. You're not gonna end the argument with your girl, especially your wife. So what did she do? Go to the hospital. To do what? End the argument. This man broke his leg, his arm. He had a cut around his chin. She still went to the hospital, sat right next to his bed while he was hanging off of dear beeps. Beep, beep. And she says, look at your dumb ass. You can't take a little criticism, can you? Huh? Here you go, always saying you're gonna do something you never do. And then she got mad. It's like, divorce me. She grabbed his arm, the nigga woke up.
You know, women will be like, man, you like crazy women. You like crazy women. It's like, yes and no. Like there's a scale, you know what I mean? From 1 to 10, like 1 is Janae Aiko and 10 is Lisa Left Eye, you know what I mean? I like my crazy right in the middle like a Kiki Palmer, you know what I mean? Just tweet about me, tell people to unfollow me, but don't, you know what I mean? I never dealt with somebody who had like bipolar issues. Have you guys? I never dealt with that before, right? I've dealt with like other shit, like high blood pressure, like nigga shit. Put that salt down. I know how to do that. I'm trying to live. You know what I mean? I know how to. Bipolar, I had never dealt with in my life, right? But I'm learning with bipolar, like they got like a weird laugh when they angry, right? Like she would get mad. She's like, ha ha. Right? I'm for real, dog. And I would be in the house, I would be like, hey, you good? She's like, I'm good, nigga. I'm like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you don't act like no punk. Like, all right, well, maybe she from the hood, I don't know. Right? Then when she got mad, I found out like bipolar people, she got mad, she don't never want to be here. Right? When she got mad, she's like, I don't even want to be here right now. And I was like, oh, where you want to go? So anyway, she's talking about killing herself, right? So I step outside and I call her family. Like, hey, I call her brother. Hey, man, your sister talking about like killing herself. He's like, oh, when she get like this, only she can calm herself down. I was like, nigga, what do you mean when she get like this? So this is what happened, dog, right? She drinking one night, she watching one of them little reality shows, right? And she was like, if I was on that show, I'd fuck everybody. True story, I can't make it up, right? I said, she was drunk, so I was like, I'm gonna pin that, right? You can't get into it right now, right? She drunk, you know what I mean, it's gonna be crazy, you know, the neighbors listening, like I'm gonna wait on that, right? I give it like, you know what I mean, like a day or two, right? You know what I mean? She in there cooking, making fish, I'm playing the game, you know what I mean? We got somebody bipolar that can spaz out, you gotta make sure they're in a good mood before you give them like negative information, like tickle them a little bit, like, hey bitch, you know what I mean? Right? So I'm playing the game, and I was like, hey mama. She was like, what's up? She flipping the fish with a spatula, right? I said, the other day, you watching the show, and you said, if you was on the show, you would fuck everybody. And she said, she was like, you heard wrong. And I said, my ego was in play. I said, what you mean I heard wrong? And she said, motherfucker, you heard wrong. What if I did say it? What that mean, right? And I said, well, I feel like you're trying to play me right now, right? At that time, she was like, she took the spatula and she took her hand, she started flipping the fish with her hand. Right? And she said, motherfuckers get played every day, don't know they getting played. Hand to God, right? I said, what? Motherfuckers get played every day, don't know they getting played, right? So I was like, all right, cool, right? I immediately, I realized I was still on the game, right? So I had to cut it off because my boys could hear what was going on. My boy Isaiah was like, damn, nigga. She beat you, nigga? I just unplugged the game, like, shut the fuck up, right? And listen, I'm about 6'4", 240. When you my size, I gotta be aware, right? I don't want to get up like aggressively, right? You know what I mean? To try to trigger her, right? Because she going crazy. She flipping fish with her hand. You know what I mean? So I don't get up fast, right? I just get up in slow motion, right? And I kind of like pop lock my waist, right? Because I'm really just trying to make it to my freedom. right? Because the door is where my freedom is. I'm pop locking, right? And it confused her because she started doing the same shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? I get my keys, I'm outside. I live downtown LA. I'm this dude. I'm walking around like outside, talking to my friends. Anybody that listen, I'm calling all my married homeboys. They laughing. Like, dog, she going crazy. Like, I think she finna tear my shit. This bitch is bipolar, right? This homeless dude like bipolar. Right? Shit, was she flipping the fish with her hand? Was she flipping the fish? He showed me his hand. I know something about bipolar, baby. I said, mind your business. You the one outside, playboy. She calls me like maybe 50 times. I'm like, let it go to voicemail. Then I start listening to the voicemails. She gave me a play-by-play of her ruining my place. Dog, the first voicemail, like I said, is like, okay, all right, the next voicemail, I have like a double glass window, right? Double glass, right? And I guess she took a TV tray and she going ham, bow, bow, and she's like yelling in the voicemail, fuck you, right? Then she hang up. Call back, I got a 65-inch TV, right? She smashed it and peeled it back. I didn't know a TV had that many layers. She smashed my laptop, picture frame's gone, she bit the dog. She bit the Frenchie called me, nigga, where are you? That ain't got shit to do with this, Sydney. She eating my food in front of me. If you don't come get this lady. He started patting his pockets looking for a cigarette. God damn, baby. You got to talk to somebody. Dog going crazy, right? Then she go in my room, right? And she take a knife. And not only do she like stab the wall, she like stab it and drag it, right? Like here and just like, huh, right? And it was crazy because I don't even use that wall. That's not even my shit, dog, you know what I mean? She dragging the wall, my neighbor's like, hey, you know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to sit down, dog. When you date somebody like that happened to you, you know what I mean? You be like, all right, let me look at myself. I don't trust myself right now. I make bad decisions. People like, you blame her? Yeah, for what happened, but ultimately, you know what I mean? I feel like I was disobedient, you know what I mean? Because God gave me signs, I was like, it's okay. And he was like, all right. You got about 10 seconds, nigga, before she... So I don't trust myself, so now I'll be trying to date online and let the algorithm choose for me. Dating online suck, man. That's what nobody tell you, dog. Yeah. Cause everybody lying online. Everybody online be like, I'm a great catch. I'm like, no, you not. That's why we all here, you know?